Hey guys, as always, the Gentleman Snark is here, and I'm with,
I am Twimp.
and we're here to bring you a review of God of High School Episode 4. But before we get into this, I need you guys to know that if you like what you see here, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. Now, without further ado, let's dive right into this episode. So, we have honestly been saying for the past 3 episodes that they're not bad, but they're not great either. And I feel like so far, episode 4 is probably the epitome of that statement. Because again, this episode, for what it was trying to be, was not bad. It was okay, but still not good enough. And I'm talking that the main issue here is pacing. And this is coming from a webcomic reader. Like, again, I've read all of 470-ish chapters of God of High School, so I'm fully caught up. I know the story, I know what to expect, I know the differences, I know how it works. But I'm curious, Flamehawk, as someone that has not really read the webcomic, how did you feel about this episode? Am I wrong? Is it just me, or what's your take here?
No, you are not wrong. It was not a great episode to go through.
Yeah, the pacing of this episode really did leave a lot to be desired because, don't get me wrong, I know what they're trying to do. This episode, I won't lie, was a bit slow compared to the other episodes that we got that were a bit more action-packed. There wasn't a lot of fighting, but there was a lot more story building and character development. We see Miria, we see what her childhood was like. We see the pressure of her trying to carry on the swordsmanship of her family. We get to see that she literally spent too much time trying to preserve it, that she never really got the chance to, be a kid or be a girl, to really enjoy her youth. So don't get me wrong, I like that. I've been waiting for that. We needed that desperately to kind of understand the characters and to actually root for them. It's just that it went by too fast. This episode just went with all of these moments. Like, don't get me wrong, there were some nice moments during these flashbacks and during these moments with Miria and her supposed marriage towards this hot young shot right here, but it just went by too quickly. Like, it didn't really land. It didn't really settle. It didn't really, at least to me personally, it didn't really make me feel like, okay, she's really been through the lot. Because she has been through a lot, but to me, it was just kind of, I'm going through the motions here. I'm just like, what happened? Okay, this is where she's sad. This is where she's crying over her father's death. This is
2 hours later.
yada, 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 yada. Like, I'm literally, like, I shouldn't be having to go, like, all right, get to the point here. Because that was the whole point of the episode. That's kind of how I felt, because it was going by so quickly that it didn't really make me care. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe it's because I've already seen the material, but honestly, the pacing was just not great.
It definitely was not.
There's really nothing much to say other than that, but I will say that there was a few differences from the webcomic to this episode that I really feel like could have at least aided in the pacing, or at least giving a bit more characteristics to the characters, because we already know that Jin Mori is a typical hothead. He sees that Miria getting married, he's like, okay, this has to be a scam. He jumps in based like Luffy and is trying to stop the marriage, and Handai is trying to be the more responsible one, but he ends up helping anyways. But the thing that I found that was a bit interesting is that there was no mention, because in the webcomic, Handai kind of mentioned a little bit briefly that Jin Mori's hot-headedness sounds very reminiscent of his friend, the one that is in the hospital. We don't get that line in the anime, and considering what happens towards the end of this episode, I really feel like that would have been very much needed to give some more characterization to what's gonna happen next. Other than that, there's not that much of a difference. There really isn't that much of a difference, or rather, there's not that much of significant differences worth to mention. Again, the pacing was the problem here. They should have slowed down the episode. They should have made this whole episode pretty much focus on Miriel's whole marriage and flashback in its entirety. They shouldn't have tried to speed through it, race through it to try to fit in those cliffhangers at the end, because don't get me wrong, the cliffhangers were nice, but it came at the cost of Miriel's backstory, in my honest opinion. And again, I really feel like the pacing should have slowed down so we could have actually really feel those moments and really kind of get in touch with Miriel's character. As for the ending, we pretty much see that Handai, he's just going ballistic now.
Okay, but why though?
Because he ends up seeing that his friend is now dying, is really getting in critical condition, so he immediately takes out his wrath on anyone that gets in his way.
Damn, son.
Those guys that bothered him, I believe in episode 2, while he was at his job making fun of his friend, that cool, calm-headed collectiveness, gone. Immediately beats them down. And next thing you know, Mirio also gets beaten down, as we see in the end of this episode. Now, don't get me wrong, those were nice, those were cool, those were good ways to grab us, but because of the pacing of this, in my opinion, the scene where they go from, oh, we're all happy friends, you saved me from making a terrible decision with the wedding, to now Handai be of Mirio, it was a little jarring. Was I the only one that feel that way? It was a bit jarring, like it just came out of nowhere.
No, I felt that way. Same point, it was like so little time between that wedding event and the fight that it didn't seem, Han should have just like completely went ape.
Exactly. Honestly, if I could clean up this episode just a little bit, because again, I think what the episode was trying to do wasn't bad at all. But because of the pacing, to me, it's just okay. When honestly, it could have been good had they fixed the pacing just a bit. Make it a bit slower. Make us really feel those moments. And as for the cliffhanger, what they should have done one of two things. After the whole wedding incident, they should have ended it at the part where Handai sees that his friend is in critical condition and dying. Then roll credits. Right there. Roll credits. Perfect ending. Right there. Just roll credits after he sees his friend dying. Then, next episode, then we see more of Handai getting ballistic. We see the growth we see him shatter from being cool, calm, and collective, and more like, okay, I have to win at all costs.
Goddamn right.
Because let's be real, we know why he's trying to win the tournament. Because he wants to save his friend. That's nothing new here. And with that, the next episode, I suspect, and there should be, a flashback to show why Handai and his friend go way back. Why is he so close? Why are they so, why does he feel like he has to save his friend at all costs? Because trust me, we're due for Handai's backstory. We're really due. So I suspect next episode, we're going to be spending most of it on Handai and exactly why he's doing the things that he's doing. Because trust me, as a webcomic reader, I already know. But we still need time to kind of develop to understand Handai's mental capacity and why he's doing what he's doing. Because to be honest, all we know is that he's the cool, calm, and collected character and that he wants to save his friend from dying. That's all we know. But that's not enough to be like, okay, let's root for him. We understand his motivations. He's just no, we need more. There's more nuances there that has yet to be explored. And I really hope the next episode explores this. A second thing that they could have done. And this could have been to really drive in the cliffhanger, to really grab people in with that hook, is that the moment the wedding ends, we see Mirio take the picture. So instead of putting that whole picture scene to after the credits, put this before the credits. And after the whole picture scene, we just cut straight to Jin Mori running into the stadium, and we just see Handai going to town on Mirio. Then roll credits. Right there. Cliffhanger. Perfect. Would it still be jarring? A little bit, but at least this way, the coming out of nowhere aspect of him just beating on Mirio without no context, in my opinion, would have really gripped the audience to be like, okay, we need to see the next episode to see what the heck happened. Why is he doing this? I thought they were all friends for a second because the way they did it, it went too fast and they made it linger too long to the point where someone like me perhaps could see kind of the holes in the storytelling aspect. Again, I don't know if it's just me seeing this. I'm just spitballing to how I felt about the episode.
Yeah, I definitely agree this could have been worked out better. But this seems like a fast-tracked series and skip over some important parts just to fit their season 1 episode cap.
Yeah, I heard that this season 1 is supposed to be 13 episodes, and considering what's supposed to be happening, and because I'm going based off the opening and on the characters that we see in the opening, contradiction, I have an idea where season 1 is supposed to end, and I gotta say, it's clear to me that they're really trying to rush through the ending of the first GOH tournament here. Like, they're really trying to race through it. And for webcomic readers who are probably watching this and want to have an understanding as to where this 13 episode anime might end, I'll put it to you this way. Think of the blue-haired guy and the fox guy. They're trying to end it around there after that whole thing. That's my suspicion. I won't give too much away for those who are just anime onlys, but the fox guy and the long-haired, blue-haired guy, I think they're trying to end it after that big fight. I'll leave it at that. But in all honesty, if that's where they're going, in my opinion, they should have bumped this up to at least a 20-episode anime to really give those moments a lot more levity. And maybe they could squeeze in some filler if they really wanted to, maybe to give some extra establishment to the characters. But again, this episode, it was okay. That's it. It could have been good. It honestly could have been good from a storytelling standpoint, because again, there wasn't much action, but from a storytelling point, it had some stuff there. But unfortunately, I just have to give it the okay. That's all it is. just okay.
I agree with your assessment of giving it a longer episode run for the first season, but unfortunately, this is what it is.
That's going to be it for us, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode review here. If you like what you see here, please be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. We would greatly appreciate it. And if you want to catch us live, we have a Twitch. You can follow us at twitch.tv/nerdent. There we play a whole bunch of games. Lately, we have been playing, and by we, I mean mostly me, have been playing this visual novel called You and Me and Her, A Love Story. Oh boy, that's hey, if you want to know how that's going, you got to follow us on Twitch. No spoilers here. Now, also you can follow us on Twitter to also know when we're live and when our other videos come out, which at @meetswest. That's at MEETSWEST at meetswest. Follow us on Twitter. And lastly, we also have an Instagram. You can follow us at nerdent_net on Instagram. All those links will be in the description below, so please be sure to click and follow us there. And as always, I am the Gentleman Snark.
And I am Slimhawk.
And we will catch you guys later. See ya.
Later.